You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedule as we get you caught up on all of the injury news that circles around this basketball team. Yesterday afternoon, Adrian Wojnarowski, he went on the NBA Today show on ESPN, and he gave an injury update for Julius Randle and OG Anunoby, brought some clarity to that situation. But what Tom Thibodeau had to say about Anunoby following the game yesterday where the New York Knicks lost, it was a little bit of a concerning update. So we got some conflicting, I would say, points of emphasis between Woj and Tom Thibodeau. But before we dive into today's show, I got to make sure everybody watching today's video has hit that like button. We're trying to bring the good vibes to the New York Knicks. I am tired of watching this team be extremely injured and not healthy. And if you feel the same way, hit that thumbs up icon and do it right now. All right, this is what Woj had to say about OG. We'll get to Randle in a second. Quote, he is expected to get back on the court later this week and start to be able to do some basketball activities again. Then from there, it is when he feels comfortable. Is that 10 days? Is that 2 weeks? I've been told there haven't been any setbacks in his rehab. There has been nothing that has slowed this down for OG Anunoby. So you get kind of a positive update from Woj right there, saying he is expected to be returned basketball activities coming up very shortly, and he could be back as soon as 2 weeks. But then Tom Thibodeau, after the loss last night, said OG Anunoby has not progressed to shooting the basketball in a part of his rehab, which could be looked at as two ways. He has completely done nothing, and he is just rehabbing that elbow, not trying to put any further stress on it that he needs to in this process, or he may be further away than we all thought. He is expected, though, to be reevaluated by the New York Knicks training staff at the end of the week. Remember, he had that surgery on NBA trade deadline day, which was February 9th. So it has almost been a month at this point. Will he be back? Hopefully. The New York Knicks, they need him out there. He has been one of the biggest storylines on this team all year long. When he became a member of the Knicks, I think it's fair to say they were the best team in the NBA in the month of January. And his stats have been awesome. 15.6 points per game, almost 2 steals per night, over 51% from the deck, and 39% from three. Yes, they miss him on the offensive end, but it's on the defensive end where his absence has been really the largest miss for the New York Knicks. They don't have anyone on the perimeter that can guard opposing number one scoring options for teams. And Anunoby, he could do that. And they need to get back to what they were doing in January, which is just healthy. Because when they are healthy, and when you got Randle, and you got OG, and you got Brunson, and you got Hartenstein, and then Mitch coming back with DiVincenzo, and Hart, and Precious, and all the fellas, you were the best team in the NBA. I think they won 11 in a row, and I think OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson are 12-2 in games that they have played together for the New York Knicks. When will he come back? My prediction is going to be March 14th. He's expected to be reevaluated by the New York Knicks doctors on March 1st. I think it'll take about 2 weeks for him to get back up to speed, get into shape, start working out on the court, and be ready to go. March 14th versus the Portland Trail Blazers. That is going to be my prediction for when OG Anunoby will return. If we get any more information on that, whether it's sooner, whether it's later, or we get a Julius Randle update, we'll keep you in the loop. So subscribe for free, informative, entertaining, passion-driven content every single day on your New York Knicks. Coming up, we'll dive into the quotes that Adrian Wojnarowski had about Julius Randle and his rehab process. Kind of the same thing for Randle. He's going to have to play through some pain. We'll talk about that. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app, will match your first deposit up to $100. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get in on the excitement with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on PrizePicks. Check them out. So much more to play. Just because the NFL season is over with, that doesn't mean that your season of playing PrizePicks should be over with. You should actually start playing it right now if you haven't. NBA, NHL, college basketball, soccer, PGA Tour, and so much more. Pick more, pick less. Go to PrizePicks, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. Check them out. I'll put all that information down in the comment section, and I'll make it clickable. Check them out. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. Alrighty, let's dive into the injury update that Adrian Wojnarowski has for Julius Randle. Remember, he got hurt at the end of January. He's been out for a month at this point, and the New York Knicks, they are desperately missing his production. Woj said this: with Julius Randle, it's a little more complicated than the OG Anunoby injury. With that right shoulder, he is somebody who is trying to do everything he can to not have a surgical procedure. If you remember last season, there were certainly some medical people who told Randle that he may want to have an ankle surgery before the end of the season. He wouldn't do it. He did it after the season. He is determined to try to come back and play through this injury. But I still think this is a fluid situation. That's always been his default, to play through the pain and handle it in the offseason. We've said it time and time again on this channel, and Woj is echoing that. Julius Randle is going to have to play through pain this season if he wants to return to the basketball court and try to help the New York Knicks get to spots in the playoffs that they have not been in 20 years. Good news, though, if you want to call that a concerning injury update, I kind of will, as surgery has not yet been ruled off the table. Some good news. Julius Randle has been already back on the basketball court, starting to put in some work. Here he is on Instagram posting this, working with the Knicks assistant coach, Johnny Bryant. We saw him prior to the Knicks game against the Boston Celtics on Madison Square Garden's floor that he was getting work in. And then there was that video from an NBA trainer at the NBA Players Association gym where Randle was getting some shots up. It is his right shoulder, so maybe he'll be able to return quicker as he is a lefty, but I still think that this is going to hinder his production. We know Randle is a bully. It's the type of way he plays. He gets downhill. He likes to put pressure on the front of the rim, and I don't know if he will be able to absorb as much contact as he usually does because he doesn't have the most trust in his right shoulder. The facts are the facts, though. The Knicks are 3-7 in their last 10 games. They desperately miss Randle. They desperately miss OG Anunoby. They need to get Mitchell Robinson to come back. He returned to basketball activities following the All-Star break. I still think we're a couple weeks away from him returning. Now you have Jalen Brunson missing time. Isaiah Hartenstein continues to miss time. All I want is just to see the New York Knicks healthy, and I'm not sure we'll get that, which stinks because the starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Isaiah Hartenstein, they had a net rating while playing of plus 16.6. That means per 100 possessions, they were outscoring teams by nearly 17 points. That was the number one mark in the NBA, while OG Anunoby was a member of this basketball team. I'm getting upset. I don't know if this team will ever be healthy, which stinks because when you look at the top 10 players on this roster from 1 to 10, I'm not sure there's another team in the NBA that has more talent at the top of their team with Brunson and DiVincenzo and Bogdanovich and Anunoby and Randle, Robinson, Hart, Achua, Hartenstein. I guess I'll mention Burks as well, even though he has been absolutely horrible for the New York Knicks since joining them. I mean, last night you lose to a good Pelicans team without Brunson, without Hart, without your top 5 players. But at the end of the day, that's the type of game why you brought Alec Burks here. For when Brunson is out and when Brunson's on the floor, Alec is supposed to carry the offense and get buckets. And he just has been unable to do that so far. Hopefully he can turn it around. Maybe when Brunson, everybody gets back healthy, he goes more to a spot-up role. But he's just got to be better. He simply does. I'll end the show with this question for all the real ones. What is your confidence level in the Knicks being fully healthy by April 16th and the start of the NBA playoffs? Will Mitch be back? Will Randle be back? OG, will they all be back? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1, you're not confident. 10, you are extremely confident. I just want to say appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you haven't yet, give me a follow over on social media. I'm tweeting about the Knicks every day, and I'm posted on Instagram as well. You could stay in the loop over there at @MarshallGreen_. And let's go Knicks. Let's get back in the win column. We'll be live on the channel on Thursday, so subscribe and turn your notifications on.